Welcome to a Waking Moment podcast. I'm Danny Palacio, and I'm going to be your host. I welcome you to the Spark Question of the Week. It's been a few weeks since we've had one, so I have been contemplating what the question could be because there's so many questions that I am personally asking myself in this very turbulent, uncomfortable, and painful at some level world that we are currently living in. And so, what triggers you? And this question is used by so many people. And I want to take a moment and say my perspective of what trigger means. It means that when someone does something or someone doesn't do something, it starts to nitpick your brain. Like it starts to get under your skin, and you start to think about it throughout your day. Maybe a couple days after, you're still contemplating, why did this person do that? What were they thinking? How could they do something like that? That's so, and then the words of judgment just keep going, right? And it's really important to know what those triggers are for you, because in some beautiful way, and this is my perspective, the universe, God, spirit, creator, is offering you a beautiful, amazing, transformational opportunity to say, oh, what within me is feeling whatever the words you used for the judgment. So let's say somebody cuts you off when you're speaking and you're sharing a story, and you're like, damn it, that person, how dare they? They're so rude. They're so inconsiderate. They don't even understand the basic concepts of active listening, or they don't even they disrespected me. How dare they do that to me? Hopefully that was somewhat sparking your memories of times in which someone did something that really made you react. Now, maybe you didn't say a thing about it in that moment and out loud, but internally you are stewing on it. The other is to go bigger and say, well, the world, we've got wars going on, we've got lots of executive orders rolling down the hill. I have lots of family and friends and people I know in my community that are personally impacted by a lot of what's going on, and my heart breaks. And I don't quite know what to do with it all, to be honest. And so if there's something going on in the greater world that's really destroying your sense of peace, your sense of purpose, your sense of balance, again, this is an opportunity for you to say, where is that within me? Because we are a collective consciousness. Even though we live in separate bodies and we live all over this earth, we are a collective energy. We are one consciousness. And so if we do the inner work and we look at what upsets us, what makes us react in a negative way, what feels disrespectful, what feels unfair, unjust, and we start to cultivate a space within ourselves to say, oh, that's where I've been when I was 12 years old, when I was 21, when I was 35. I had these experiences and people disrespected me. People shut me down. People talked over me, and I didn't do a thing about it. Why? Why? Why didn't you do anything about it? Were you afraid? Were you just overwhelmed? Were you traumatized? Were you so confused you didn't even know what was happening until years later? All of that is beautiful, and it's important to note. So what triggers you is a pathway, is a light saying, experience, explore, dig in, find it within yourself. When you either did it to yourself or someone else did, and you still haven't forgiven, or you still haven't integrated. Ooh, there's a lot of energy moving. I can feel it. I'm about to get really teary-eyed. There's so much that is not processed in this world and within ourselves. And if we want to be free and we want to live in our truth and our authenticity, we have to start within. We have to start and look at, where did I judge myself? Where did I put myself down? Where did I make myself little? Where did I give away my power, give away my beauty, give away my sensuality? Where did I compromise? Where did I sacrifice in a way that was so dishonoring of who I am that it caused me to feel disingenuine? It caused me to feel less than. And little bits, imagine little bits of you are being lost, are being taken, are being given away. And all of a sudden, one day you get to a place where all those little times, those little bits that left you because of all the things you did or didn't do, start to add up, and you recognize you have a huge hole in your energy, in yourself, in your understanding. Or there's a huge boulder that is blocking the path. But really, it's not a boulder. It's the loss of who you have always been, that you have given away at such a cost, that now is the time to claim yourself back. Now is the time to do that deep work. So when you start to point the finger at somebody, remember Debbie Ford, she was the first one who taught me this. When you're pointing the finger at somebody, 3 fingers are pointing back at you. So it's not them. It's 3 fingers pointing back at you. If you want support in finding where those fingers are pointing, or what has accumulated in such a way that you now have a uncontrollable, nasty response to an experience that doesn't actually allow your light to shine or support you in becoming all that you were meant to be, because you are a soul in human form, and you were put on this planet at this time for a reason. Live your life with authenticity, with love leading the way. Allow your ego to just be the passenger in your journey. It doesn't have to be the driver. It really doesn't. So if you're feeling the call to, I want to know what that is, I want to experience what that is, contact me. And we can have a phone conversation. If you live locally, I'm happy to meet with you. This is part of my sacred work. This is my full-time job, and I'm grateful for it. So please reach out. Now is the time to get some support, to clear some of this stuff. I'm doing it on a daily basis. I did it earlier today, where years ago, this guy that I was dating put down my equipment in my kitchen. And I have a lot of pride about having quality products in my kitchen that are, good for me and good for all those that I love, that I cook for. And it has stuck with me. I was cutting vegetables this morning, and that memory came back up. And I was like, that's it. This has got to go. And I started to hear myself give positive affirmations about my choices and who I am. And this is a tiny little thing that should have meant nothing. It was about my cutting boards. And his condemnation and judgment of my cutting boards has stayed with me for years. And it's so minute, and it's so big now, because it's been years of accumulation of that pain of someone judging me, and all the thousands of things I made it mean about myself. And so I sat down this morning, I was drinking my coffee, and I was like, this has got to stop. And I said, Spirit, help me. Help me figure out how to release this, because it's too much to carry now. And it should have never been something that I carried anyway, but I internalized it and I made it mean something. And so the trigger doesn't even have to be with anyone outside of yourself. The stupid cutting board was my trigger to that old memory and that moment where I felt shameful and I became little and I didn't speak my truth. Like, dude, don't judge me. You're in my kitchen. We're on a date. Like, I didn't say any of that. I quietly continued to cook. And granted, that was the last date I ever went on that with that guy. But here's the thing. What triggers you is so important because it allows you to see your next step of healing. It allows you to see an opportunity to lighten your load, to unburden your soul, to release the crap from your body. So, I wish you an opportunity to slow things down, to notice what's triggering you and ask why, and look inside first. And then when you are not charged, not in a responsive, negative judgment kind of way around it, maybe your eyes will shift when you look outside to the world, to other people, to loved ones. I hope so. So again, I know that this was a simple question. What triggers you? But it's deep. And so I hope that I've inspired you to at least stop and contemplate what triggers you and why. And again, if you need some support, I'm here. And I thank you for tuning in. I thank you for listening. Please share. If this is a question or if what I've shared, you're thinking about somebody else, please send it to them. There's no harm in doing that. They can accept it, they can deny it, they can never listen, or they could listen. And I would appreciate the ongoing flow of the information and my reach out into the world. So thank you very much. I look forward to the next week. Every Monday, remember, there's new content out on the podcast channels. I usually post about it on Facebook and Instagram. So there's lots of opportunities to stay connected. All right, take care.